Awesemo fam? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down the 6-game NBA DFS slate for Thursday. I'm not even going to start over. We're going to keep pushing through. Rinpack, how's the slate going for you tonight?
Well, it started off with Embiid with no Simmons and Harris, but there is a pure minesweeper in Shake Milton. It felt like he nuked our lineups, unfortunately. And at that ownership, obviously, you kind of have to react to it when he's starting with no Seth Curry there. Definitely it looked like a solid play at that price tag, $4,300. We had the Clippers news by then, so he seemed like a solid play going into it. He just missed every shot he took. It felt like he went 2 of 10 from the field. He finds a way to hit 3 of those shots. He's not as bad as he is, and we're probably a little more happier. But Brogdon was great in the depleted Pacers team, but Slate was led by O'Shea Brissett. Talk about a guy
My God.
At that salary, putting up 50-plus fantasy points. What a performance. Played 42 minutes, 23 and 12, 3 stocks, I believe, or 5 stocks and assist. Man,
so good.
2 fouls. What a splendid performance, and hats off to him.
If you go back and watch the tip-off show, I legitimately said that he was an all-in play if you got out. I think the field kind of figured that out too, which was kind of sad because he was way higher on than I expected him even to be. We had him up at like 40, 45%. He ended up in like 65% in most things in the 222 on Fanduel, on DraftKings, and all the low-stakes stuff that I jammed in. It was just crazy how owned he got to, but that's what happens when you get these shorthanded lineups. Also, he was the tallest guy on the roster at 6'7". That's fun. It's like small town high school ball all over again, where the one like farm boy is like 7 foot and everybody else is like 6'2" around him. But this is an NBA game, so good times were had by all. Anywho, another good time would be if you guys got down to that bottom bar. You like that segue? Get down to that bottom bar. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. That goes a long way and really helps us out. Does all the good things for us and allows us to keep the lights on. And hit that notification bell so you can be taken care of and you can watch all of the Awesemo content as soon as it goes live. We are sponsored today by MonkeyKnifeFight.com. If you go to MonkeyKnifeFight.com and you enter the promo code Awesemo, AWESEMO, you get $100 first deposit match bonus. I don't know why words are hard today, but they just are. First deposit match bonus. I did pour a little nice cocktail that we're going to get started, and that should loosen it up a little bit. I should be able to say words a little bit more efficiently, but either way, I'm ready to get rocking, my dude. How are you doing?
Doing well. Let's ride. Talk about a nice 6-game Thursday slate. Few studs, not as many, couple back-to-backs, but we'll get to it.
We're going to get to all of it here today. At the top end, Luka Doncic, $11,000 over on DK. Back-to-back for him here, but that's really no issue. Luka continues to be pretty darn good at basketball. Terry Rozier, 8,400 is now your second listed point guard over on DraftKings. He has the shooting guard eligibility as well. And then Drew Holiday sitting up there as well, 8,200. Big price tag for him, but again, on a 6-gamer, we're going to want to find some contrarian stances. It's not like this 12-gamer where it was pretty straightforward on where your value is, and then obviously I hate Shake Milton as well. Talk to me about the top end of point guard.
Yeah, the top end of point guard, obviously we got Luka on both sides, 11K, 11.4 on DraftKings and FanDuel respectively. He's been playing amazing. Now, matchup against the Lakers, Anthony Davis is going to play limited minutes, so their defense should improve in those limited minutes. But Luka is back to form. 3 straight games of north of 60 fantasy points. We'll take that at that price tag for sure. DeJounte Murray, another guy, 7,200 on DraftKings, and he comes in at 7,200 on FanDuel as well. Solid price tag, a matchup against Detroit, should be able to perform well. And Terry Rozier, like you said, 78 and 8,400, I believe, on FanDuel and DraftKings respectively. Seems expensive, but a matchup versus Chicago. This guy's playing for minutes. He wants to be on the court when LaMelo's ball is back next week. So it makes a ton of sense for him to play with some fire under him. The shot attempts are great, 17, 24, and 21. You would like him to get to the line more, but that's just not part of his game. He's just one of those guys who wants to get going. And if you look at his shooting improvement from his rookie year, there was a viral image on NBA Twitter where it was just he has improved every single season as a shooter, which is very rare, and that's really impressive from Terry Rozier. And living up to that contract that Michael Jordan handed him. So at that price tag against Chicago, I think we can definitely go to him. But if Ben Simmons were to play against Milwaukee, I'm really concerned if this injury or it's an illness. So not if it's anything like causing him weakness or some sort of thing where he might not be a full go in a Milwaukee matchup. Should be an entertaining best.
Say his name. Who would we play if Ben Simmons is out?
George Hill in a or Tyrese Maxey.
Anybody but just avoid the Shake monster.
But in terms of recency bias, we're gonna have to consider Shake Milton if Ben Simmons is out in the game. In the name game of recency bias, which I'm pretty high on my list in terms of DFS, you just go back to whenever everyone gets burned. So it kind of zig when others zag and vice versa. So he's definitely in play. It's a small enough slate. A lot of these guys are going to be, you're going to need them not to like destroy their value, but they're definitely in play. The Detroit guard situation, one of them will be good. It's been playing roulette with them. It's been tough. How do you feel about the elevated Cole Anthony price tag in a matchup versus New Orleans? Any interest in Kobe White or Lonzo Ball in that mid-tier options? How do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, I think Kobe White's an okay spot to be going to. 5,500 isn't irrational for a guy. I was going through a couple of his box scores earlier today. High usage right now, up in the mid-20s in that starting role. 4 straight games of 30-plus minutes. It was always kind of a minutes consideration because he gets out there and he has no problem chucking. Like, he will absolutely chuck. Also, 4 straight games of double-digit shot attempts after, basically kind of lulling himself to sleep on coming off the bench, not doing much, not really being very active. And the assists are just spiking up. 7, 9, 7, and 6 his last 4. So 5,500 Kobe White. Against Charlotte, I really do expect him to be pretty popular. 58 over on Fanduel, no problem going there either. Cory Joseph is expected to be back for Detroit. Played 32 minutes his last time out, didn't play today. I would expect that he would be all right to play, low 30s minutes. So at 5K, kind of a contrarian spot. He's actually been much higher usage than he had in his Sacramento time, which makes a lot of sense when you're not playing along the likes of Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, all of those guys. So I do like going that direction as well. The last guy that I'm going to throw out, and it doesn't really feel good, but it's strange how many times he ends up popping on some of these slates for me when you're trying to get some savings. And maybe you can go to George Hill instead at 3,500. But Patty Mills has been playing like low 20s minutes. He played 30 minutes against Toronto randomly here. I know that it's a really jumbled backcourt there, but there's guys like him. Saban Lee's 3,600. I don't think you need to go there. Cameron Payne, 3,700. They kind of all blend together. RJ Hampton, who we talked about the other night. Is there anybody under 4K here that you'd want to? Okay, I'm going through Patty Mills' box score now, and I really don't want to click that button. So that was a lie. I apologize to everybody involved. But, is there anybody under 4K that you'd be looking at? I mean, Brad Wanamaker's just kind of out already in Charlotte, but I don't see anybody down here to really click on.
The only guy, based on this trend that Dwayne Casey's been having, it would be DSJ. I know it's an ugly consideration, but min price, both sides. I think 20 points would do it for you tomorrow on this slate size. He's the only guy that sticks out to me right now. But outside of that, maybe Kyra Lewis Jr., someone who can get hot off the bench in a matchup against Orlando. If you want to think Kyra gets his rotations plus blowout run, that could pan out for you. But I think that's about it. Based off the point guard position, it's tough to go stars and scrubs, but we'll see what else is out there in the rest of the spots.
Not only that, but outside of Luka, I mean, Chris Paul on a back-to-back played great against Philly again tonight. Continuing to get there. Scary Terry's great, but I mean, you're going to get Devonte Graham alongside him, and that's going to hurt in the long run. It's not the greatest position in the entire world. And we're coming off a slate where all we wanted to do was play point guards. So very curious to see kind of how ownership spreads out. But 3K, Dennis Smith Jr., love that call because 3K is 3K. That can go a long way. That all rhymed, and I don't know what else to say. I can't stop. Going to the top of shooting guard, Devin Booker over on Fanduel, 8,600. Oh my gosh. My Dr. Seuss now. That's weird. DeMar DeRozan, 7,900 against Detroit. Really like that spot for him as well. But 31 minutes his last two. Not really getting like an increased amount of run here. That might make it difficult to click on that name, but he's under 8K, so I wouldn't mind it. Marcus Smart, 6,900. Man, this position is pretty gross too. I mean, Devin Booker, 8,600, really your only spend up, and he's got a tougher matchup there against Boston and Marcus Smart and all those guys. Had a pretty poor shooting night tonight, though, against Philadelphia, which is understandable. Another tough matchup. Talk to me about the top end of shooting guard, but I don't see a whole heck of a lot.
Well, top end of shooting guard, Devin Booker against Boston, 8,800. Booker still, you would like him to take north of 20 shot attempts. He's not shooting as efficiently. Last couple games, 6 of 14, 9 of 24, 6 of 18. You'd like to see that efficiency number go up from the field at that shooting guard spot. Drew Holiday in a matchup versus Philly, 8,200. If it's an all hands on deck situation, he could get there, but it's not as likely. But on the slate, debating between him and Chris Middleton at that price tag, it's close. For me, I think there is merit to going to Drew Holiday in this matchup. If there's no Simmons, he could find a way to get involved more in terms of the game, and Middleton maybe relies more on the shot making ability. But that's the way things stand for that Milwaukee backcourt. Other guys, Devonte Graham just hasn't gotten there for us. I know he's battling through some sort of injury, it seems like, but he's got to get it going before LaMelo Ball gets back on the court, because he's probably going to be the guy who's going to lose majority of those rotation minutes at the shooting guard spot. Other guys who stand out, there's a guy who I've been playing on Orlando quite a bit, and it's kind of embarrassing. It's Gary Harris, but I've been going there just because there's no Terrence Ross. But Terrence Ross, if he were to play, I think has a tournament upside in a matchup versus the Pelicans, someone we can definitely go to. And Garrett Temple was on his way to playing 30 minutes. I believe they got blown out by the Cavs. Kind of sad for this Bulls team. They're falling out of the play-in picture, and the Wizards are falling right into it. The Wizards are absolutely rolling. Devastating injury for Denny Avdia. He was having not the greatest rookie season, but he was serviceable on a potential playoff team. So you can't hate on Denny Avdia's rookie season. You got to hate. It sucks to see a guy's season come to an end like that. And shout out to Trae Young if he hopefully he gets a recovery soon. He was in a ton of pain with, I believe, an ankle injury. Other guys at the shooting guard spot, Marcus Smart could catch an upside, but it's a tough Phoenix matchup. And other guys, Bledsoe and Josh Richardson, pure tournament options, and Josh Jackson, someone I believe found a way to get 30 plus minutes. He's been playing minutes throughout consistently, like his minutes have been going up kind of, but the back-to-back situation, we'll see what Dwayne Casey decides. How do you feel about RJ Hampton, someone who we were both been high on at the shooting guard spot on DraftKings as I pull up FanDuel?
I'm feeling a little less inclined to be playing him. I kind of expected him to start getting a little extra run. He's still under 4K over on DK, but 22 and 21 minutes, I was hoping with Terrence Ross out that first time that it would kind of be the RJ Hampton show a little bit. That he would kind of come out and ball. A high pedigree guy coming over from Denver, played in Australia, right? Wasn't that where he was at? And kind of lost.
Yeah, New Zealand or Australia, yes. One of the two.
A very high pedigree high school basketball player. Number 1 or number 2, I believe, in the country. It was like him and Ball, I believe. And
he's really good. And
yeah, RJ Hampton's a freak.
I think he's going to win the dunk contest in his career as well. He's that athletic of a player. So
I don't know where to go to bet that, but I want to right now that you throw that out there. I think RJ Hampton's a freak, but 21 and 22 minutes, hard to really kind of see him getting there on that basketball team. But
personally, I honestly thought, talking about RJ Hampton, I thought the Nuggets gave up way too much to get Aaron Gordon, because that's how I'm pretty strong on Gary Harris's defense, and RJ Hampton is a prospect. They just draft so well, the Nuggets.
They're incredible.
They can't keep them all there.
I mean, they have Bol still sitting in their background, not even getting minutes. If he played on Detroit last year, or something.
Even last year, they gave up Malik Beasley for, I believe it was Noah Vonleh. And
basket of potato chips.
And he's a rotational NBA player, which is you give up a certain amount for it. So it's they just draft so well, and they just have so many prospects.
We just love basketball. That's really what it is. And RJ Hampton is really fun to watch. So if you get a chance, I know it's Orlando and they suck, but RJ Hampton's definitely my favorite player to watch. Him and Cole Anthony are both pretty fun to watch, but RJ Hampton, really enjoyable. But I still think under 4K I might have a little bit, but not going to be going crazy, I don't think, on this slate. Even though, as I was just kind of sitting here thinking, is this maybe the worst guard slate we've had for like a 3-game plus slate all year? I can't remember a worse one.
No, I think there's some good guards on. It's just that we're going to be. It's with so many. It feels like a lot less games, obviously compared to today, 6 versus 12. We're just going to be forced into making uncomfortable decisions. That so far today, like we had O'Shea Brissett, we went there. We went to the Pacers because they were depleted. The puzzle kind of solved itself last couple of days, but this is like a true tournament slate where. Even it's tough for cash games because you just don't feel confident in terms of the news that we have right now. And it's just going to be forcing players' hands to be like, I don't know if I want that guy to be my last guy in, and they're going to rebuild. It's just like one of those days.
I don't even know if I want Ben Simmons in or out because I don't want to play Ben Simmons and I don't want to play Shake Milton. It's so bad. But anyway, you're totally right. Last guy I'm going to say, I guess I don't know why, but he has shooting guard eligibility now over on DraftKings is Najee Marshall, 5,400. But that is our segue over to small forward, where he is more well known as a play over on Fanduel at that position. But I'm going to start over on DraftKings. Luka Doncic, $11,000. You can play him at small forward. I might actually want to play him at point guard tomorrow. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Brandon Ingram, 8,700 up against Orlando. Brandon Ingram's awesome too. Just hasn't really gotten there the last two. Pretty much all just shooting volume. That's part of having Point Zion doing what he's doing. But we have seen the upside recently, like he had against Washington, 42 minutes, 58.75 DraftKings points. Jaylen Brown, again, he's got that Q mark. It says that he's doubtful. So I guess we're going to kind of be looking at these Boston guys again. But that's going to be more of a Marcus Smart play. Not going to really be affected there, but Jaylen Brown probably going to be out, which means that you're now looking down at DeMar DeRozan on DraftKings, where he's small forward only, 8,500. Big number to be paying for him there. Chris Middleton, 8,300 against a bad Philly matchup. Big number there. Small forward isn't that great either outside of Ingram and Doncic up top, and I'm sure we'll have some punts as we work our way down, but talk to me about the top end.
Yeah, top end of small forward, obviously, you talked about Luka, and fine option to play him there. DeMar DeRozan versus Detroit, I think obviously has that upside. The Spurs need to continue to win games. I believe they dropped one to Miami today. Brandon Ingram has been good in the sense there was a game where he went nuclear against Washington, but the Pelicans have lost 4 in a row. They can't afford to lose many more games down the stretch here in the final month of the season as they want to get in the play-in game. And it's kind of them and the Spurs are battling for the last spot. The Warriors in that mix as well. But it'll be interesting to see. And Stan Van Gundy is going to roll these guys out for minutes. So you're going to like Brandon Ingram on tomorrow's slate, even though at that elevated price tag. Tobias Harris, if he plays, sure. But I think I'd be willing to find the extra dollars to play a Brandon Ingram or DeMar DeRozan. I'm just shocked to see Miles Bridges at $7,700 at DraftKings. Good for him. He's earned it. He's been balling, man. 40, north of 40, north of 30. Yeah, man, he's been playing really well. Those minutes are there for him.
The dunks are there.
Oh, yeah, he's a high flyer for sure. And he was a top NBA prospect. If he leaves his first year out of MSU, he chose to come back for some reason, and he fell into the later in the first round. He would have been a top 5 pick if he leaves after his freshman year. So he's a really talented player, and it's nice that to see Borrego starting him. And I think he has been playing really well basketball for the Hornets. Spending down guys like Patrick Williams in the same game or Garrett Temple. Mikal Bridges has been playing a ton of minutes and shooting effectively from the field. A guy who can pick up those stocks in a hurry. I definitely like that price tag on both sides, honestly, especially on FanDuel where we have the roster too. Him and Patrick Williams both are solid options. Keldon Johnson, $4,200. Someone who can get there peripherally. He started off the game hot, slowed down today against Miami as they got blown out. But up top, Ingram, 8,400. You got to like that price tag quite a bit. You can play a Bridges lineup tomorrow, and it's definitely viable. I don't mind Kuzma at 6,200. I know Anthony Davis is back, won't help him, but Kuzma's still going to be asked to play 30-plus minutes if this game is close. And he can take up 15 to 16 shot attempts for sure. And at that price tag, there's a pathway for him paying that off. an injury situation to keep an eye out for. Jake Crowder did not finish the game out in Philly, and Cam Johnson started the second half. And Cam Johnson came and played 30 minutes and found his way to 24 fantasy points. If we're looking at some spend down value, gets the 3-point bonus on DraftKings, I think he's a viable value option if Crowder is out.
Yeah, Tar Heel 3-point shooter. That's the Cam Johnson way. He'd definitely be viable. 3,800 over on Fanduel is even nice. So regardless of 3-point bonus, that's nice. Patrick Williams put up 20.4 in just 19 minutes, which is like way, way low for Patrick Williams, but that's part of getting blown out by the Cavs. Well done, guys. Great job. Thanks for coming. Curious what to think. I guess I had brought him up here a second ago because he has shooting guard eligibility on DK. He's a little too expensive over there as I'm starting to put it together. But what are your feelings on Najee Marshall? 4,800. He didn't even start last game, I believe, and he still had 34 minutes, 37.7 fantasy points over on FanDuel. I expect him to be very popular against Orlando. Do you have kind of a lean? Let's say he's 35%. Do you want to be over or under?
Over or under on Najee Marshall?
On 35%. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. He's been playing really good fantasy basketball when he's given the minutes. It's been impressive. Stan Van Gundy likes giving him the minutes, and that's something Stan Van Gundy will do. Will ride him out. On a slate of this size, he doesn't have to do much for you to get you there, especially on FanDuel where you hit the roster too. It's one of those days I'll be content with being with the field. No real dog either way. There's going to be other value that opens up. I guess it helps him when he comes off the bench. I guess when you're not sharing the court with a guy like Zion and Brandon Ingram.
Or when you're sharing the court with just one of them.
Yeah. So if he starts, I won't have much interest, I guess.
Okay. I like that.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm going to go through some box scores. That's usually my evening routine is just going to popcornmachine.net. Lovely place to go hang out for a couple hours in the evening and check out box scores. But I'm pretty sure Najee Marshall is a guy that's going to be a big talking point tomorrow, considering he has shooting guard, small forward eligibility on DK, considering he just, got done playing phenomenally well. And I think, and again, don't quote me, but I'm pretty positive that he did not start that game and still got 33 minutes. But I guess James Johnson, who's doubtful, is also an important thing, making sure that he's out, because that just opens up so many minutes for him. But let's move ourselves over to power forward, yes?
Let's do it.
All right, top end over on FanDuel, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11K. I know it's Giannis. I know it's up against Philadelphia, but it's Giannis. I know he left Monday's game with a leg cramp, but I'm not too worried. I think he's going to be giving it a go. Zion Williamson, 9,800, our baby. Obviously, we're going to play him. Anthony Davis. I wish they would just make him not 9,600. I wish they, on FanDuel, made him 5K or something, because he's only going to probably play 15 minutes tomorrow. Not playable at 9,600. But that makes just, a happy story that they're getting him back. 9,400 on TK. Way to go, guys. Good job. Good effort. Talk to me about the top end of point power forward.
Well, is there a chance Anthony Davis can put up 45 fantasy? No. There's no chance. As much as
you had me for a second, and then I realized that you're too good for this.
As much as I love Anthony Davis as a basketball player, I can't.
He's going to be 1% owned anyway, because people are insane.
Yeah, and they're going to limit him. There's no way. I'm just trying to talk myself into it.
I know. He's not going to. Don't do it.
Paying up for guys like Giannis and Tatum and Zion, you're saving to Zion. It's tough not to go that way. Porzingis on a back-to-back. We'll see what Carlisle and the Mavs training staff do with him against this Lakers matchup. I'm not sure if it's a national televised game. My inclination it is. It's Thursday night, 9:30. Yeah. I think that's a national televised game.
I know Dallas is on at the 6:30 p.m. Pacific, so 9:30 time. I know Dallas is the TNT game. I'm assuming they have the TNT game before it. Yes.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Porzingis could get going against this Lakers matchup for sure. He's been playing good basketball. Today seemed like the first time both Luka and Porzingis, well, you can't say Porzingis really got there on this game of Slate, but both put up 40 plus fantasy points together in a while. I'm doing this off the top of my head.
You're right. We brought that up the other day. You're correct.
Yeah. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but there's the upside of both doing it. I know Davis being back helps the Lakers defense, but it'll only be for 15 minutes. So I'm not too concerned. Spending down, I think we can take some chances on a 4,100 Markkanen, someone who can get going in 20 minutes. He really needs to put up 28 fantasy points in 20 minutes. Markkanen can do this against that Charlotte matchup. PJ Washington, someone who has been pretty solid, playing 34, 35 minutes. Is he going to keep up that shooting efficiency against Chicago? It could definitely happen. I don't mind PJ Washington. And other tournament plays at that power forward spot, Kleba got ruled out today, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that Dallas rotation. They started Dwight Powell. Jabari Parker could be a consideration at $3,400, as crazy as that sounds, just because Jabari Parker could play. He's been playing 16 minutes, man. 16 minutes of Jabari Parker. All you need him to do is chuck the ball 8 times and go 7 of 8, and he's there. And Jabari Parker has that in his bag. I don't have in terms of tournaments, long shot tournament option in Jabari Parker. Detroit being on a back-to-back on over there on FanDuel. Isaiah Stewart definitely going to be in play if Plumlee is out. I don't know if we have that news yet, but 5,500 continues to eat when starting. Like absolutely just putting up fantasy goodness out when he's playing. Like I'm talking real like fantasy goodness. 53, 39, and 47 when he's played 31, 24, and 32 minutes. It's really impressive what Isaiah Stewart is doing in terms of fantasy. Larry Markin 4K over there in FanDuel, definitely a solid option. Paying up for a guy like Zion, Giannis over there makes a ton of sense. Your roster construction at power forward can be really unique. Tough to miss out on Zion, Giannis, and Tatum, honestly, tomorrow on that power forward slate, because the opportunity cost is going to be high. And Isaiah Stewart is really the other mid-tier option over there in FanDuel that really stands out to me.
That's about it. It's another gross position. I mean, it's weird. I think small forward so far, just because on DraftKings you can play Luka, Ingram, and then you have a decent enough mid-range in Marshall, perhaps like Mikal Bridges, 4,800. Like, I just don't like a lot of positions here. I don't like point guard, shooting guard, power forward. It's kind of a gross slate so far, but that's before we get news that'll make it really fun, I'm sure. But I don't see anything else down here on the bottom end. I got nothing for you, I don't think. We could maybe, like, I know this is like a super far dart as well, but Dario Saric, if you were to just run into extra minutes, 32 minutes, he only played 18 tonight. You know, if Ayton were to get in foul trouble, I mean, those are the kind of considerations you can make on a slate like this, where you can play that narrative where Ayton gets 2 quick ones, Dario comes in, knocks down some threes, spikes a tournament-winning upside at 3,200, and, you know, he's $200 cheaper than Jabari, so it's kind of a similar play, but otherwise, I don't see a lot that I love down here. Do you got anything else for us?
No, I think we should hop on over to the center spot.
Oh, I should also say Nicola Melli could possibly be in play down there too at 3K. You talked about Kleba being out. I'm assuming that if he was out, it probably would become him starting in the 4. They've done that a couple times, but my God, is he not a fantasy producer? It's just so bad what he's been doing when he started. I know because I've had a little bit. Sometimes it's never gone well. Ready to finish this out at center.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Top end over on FanDuel. We'll finish out there. Joel Embiid, 10-7. Nikola Vucevic, 8,800 over there. I know he's 10K over on DK, so a little bit disparity there. Going to much rather be going to him over on FanDuel. Man, he only put up 16 today against Cleveland. 16, and he was pretty owned. It's just was such a horrific day for Chicago. DeAndre Ayton, 7,500. And then Andre Drummond, 6,900. I don't know who's going to guard him over on Dallas. You got Dwight Powell, Boban could play some. It's not going to be very, very pretty there, but Andre Drummond, 6,900, kind of got to like that too. Talk to me about the top end of center.
Yeah, top end of center, taking a look at things. Obviously, you can play the guys of Giannis and Zion and Porzingis and PJ Washington, the guys we kind of ran down. But Vooch, man, what a disappointing performance. We just saw what Isaiah Stewart did to this Cleveland front court. And then Vooch, I thought, was a great play on FanDuel and was an absolute disaster. 4 of 12. The Chicago team needs to start rallying off some wins. But, man, 10K even against Charlotte. He's seen Charlotte so many times in his career. I think we got to still consider a $10,000 Vooch with no Levine. He played Charlotte back in, I want to say, January. He put up, 57.5 fantasy points as I take a look at his previous box score things. Not to look into that much. Obviously, the Charlotte front court rotation is a lot different now, but the upside is there. He should be pretty solid. Embiid on a back-to-back. He did come back. If you saw Embiid, almost had one of the most insane buzzer beaters
It was.
Ever.
I tweeted about it right after. It was unbelievable. It was like a snapshot too, because he caught it in like 4 seconds. It's like those videos when high schoolers catch it off a rebound and chuck it one-handed, but it was like on the run in an NBA game, and it was halfway down.
My dad, he's watched a lot of basketball, and he had a reaction. He was like, "Oh my god, it was insane!" Like he just I was like, "Oh," in shock. It would have been nice for that game to go to overtime.
It was a good one,
and really good matchup. And as crazy as it sounds, it could be a finals preview. As good as Phoenix is play. I kid. I've been writing the Clippers Nets finals preview for a while. We'll see what ends up happening.
There's some question marks on the Nets now, but that's still my pick too.
I think it'll be really remarkable if the Nets make the finals, just because they have not played together as a team so much. It'll be really impressive if they pull that off at this point. But they should pull it off.
They should, because they have the 3 of the best 5 players in the Eastern Conference. That helps.
Yeah, it's just like I at one point, if they all played together the whole year, I really thought there was a chance they could run the table, but their defense was so poor. That's how good they are in offensively, and obviously 16, 17 Warriors were close. I believe they lost 1 or 2 games. I forget. Probably just 1 game. They were really good. But going back to the center spot, Drummond, $7,300, solid option. I think he's slowly playing a ton more minutes now. I think he's a fine savings off of those studs we mentioned, $6,900. If he plays 30-plus minutes, there's a pathway of putting him 45-plus fantasy points. He seems like a lock for a double-double. He hasn't gotten there in a couple games now, but he hasn't gotten there. He's only had 2 games of a double-double, I believe, as the Lakers. That should turn around. He's a double-double machine. Other guys at the center spot, no, I find it really hard to spend down below Drummond. Isaiah Stewart, I guess, over there on DraftKings, but it's a small enough slate where you can take some chances on some cheaper guys like Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson. Tice is someone who was playing 29 minutes when the game's close, but you need a true upside in the center spot, and I like being confident that the studs will get you a nice enough floor for your lineups to compete towards the top. No one really stands out. No center really stands out to me. Oh, okay, he's 4,500, could put up 30-plus fantasy points. I don't really see that option. Only Dwight Howard, if no Embiid on a back-to-back, he'll be a ton of fun to roster. He'll become instantly the highest owned player on the slate if there's no Embiid.
Embiid said after the game that there was no way that he wasn't going to play, but also this is the NBA and people lie all the time. And
it's Doc Rivers and
might just not let him play in general. So have a Dwight Howard plan in place, that's for sure, which means Mike Scott will be starting. That's just how life works. But Rinpack, any final words for the people? We spent a lot of time. We spent more time on this 6-gamer. I think that's kind of it's understandable. I think yesterday, even with 12 games, it's like, look, we know a bunch of news is going to come out, but this one, we kind of left no stones unturned, hit on the finer points of, Nikola Melli, and we talked Dario Saric. I mean, you can't beat that kind of a slate. Jabari Parker. What a great time to be alive.
Yeah, no, these are the 6-game slates where you can take chances on those type of guys. And that's how things just pan out. Another thing is we're giving away you can win 5-month passes on awesemo.com/giveaways. We're giving away 5 Awesemo Plus month passes. Definitely take advantage of that situation. It's all over our social handles. You can probably find them in our YouTube chats and pinned YouTube comments. Definitely take advantage of that. Make sure to enter before Friday. We're giving away 5 of those. It's really easy to enter. Eric did it in his sleep, so we can definitely find a way for you guys to take advantage of that promotion.
Yes, sir. Guys, definitely check that out. For Rinpack, I'm Eric. We'll see you guys back here to finish out the week with the Friday edition of the NBA Slate Starter. Until then, hope to see one of you. I was going to say here, I can't hear you, but hope to see one of you take down a GPP over on DraftKings and Fanduel. Make sure you tag Rinpack and I. That's always been enjoyable to see the success that you guys are having throughout the entire industry. Have a good one. Good luck, gamers.